Hey everyone, it's Gilly, and today I'm at the Oildale Wall of Fame on the corner of Norris Road and North Chester in good old Oildale, California. Today we embark on a pint-sized adventure here at Oildale's own Wall of Fame. Intended as a beacon to illuminate positive awareness and inspiration for Oildale and Bakersfield residents alike by physically commemorating some of its most famous natives, both current and former. In this case, country music innovators Buck Owens, Merl Haggard, and Nascar legend Kevin Harvick. The people responsible for the Oildale Wall of Fame are Kern County District 3 Supervisor Jeff Flores, Congressman and former State Assemblyman Vince Fong, Kern County Public Works, Oildale Community Action Team, and representatives for the Haggard, Owens, and Harvick families. When speaking of the Oildale Wall of Fame project, District 3 Supervisor Jeff Flores was quoted as saying, "The community of Oildale has long played an important part in the history of Bakersfield and Kern County." During the ribbon-cutting ceremony, then Assemblyman Vince Fong was quoted as saying, "Whether it's in medicine, whether it's in business, whether it's in sports or entertainment, sky's the limit. So for the young people that grow up in Bakersfield, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can accomplish anything." And I gotta say I agree with that. I, for one, always have faith in our youth regardless of its worst examples. Buck Owens' plaque reads, "Born in Sherman, Texas in 1929, Buck Owens came west with his family in the Great Grapes of Wrath migration of the 30s. In 1951, he settled into Bakersfield, California, and found himself playing guitar and singing in the local honky-tonks. He quickly became a local favorite, and then in 1953 got a break by playing for the then-hot Tommy Collins and eventually becoming a popular session player for Capitol Records in Hollywood. Buck signed with Capitol in 1957, and by 1963, his career really took off. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos had 17 number one hit singles over the next 6 years, including Act Naturally, Together Again, Tiger by the Tail, a personal favorite, and Crying Time. By the late 1960s, Buck moved his operations to North Chester and Oildale. In the summer of 1969, Buck became co-host of Hee Haw, which became one of the top syndicated TV successes of all time. In 1989, Buck had a resurgence in popularity with a younger group of fans and scored a number one hit with Streets of Bakersfield, a duet with his friend Dwight Yoakam. Buck passed away March 25, 2006, hours after playing a show at his venue, the Buck Owens Crystal Palace. Merl Haggard's plaque reads, "Merle Haggard was born on April 6, 1937 in Oildale, California. He forged his own path toward country music and popularity after he experienced extreme hardships in his youth. The music he created and shared with the world was largely carved out from his own life experiences. His distinct sound and musical lyrics about the current events and the working class man resonated with listeners. Throughout his musical career, Merle was the recipient of many honors and awards for his widely known country music, including being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, and Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. He also received a Kennedy Center honor, a BMI Icon Award, and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. He was the Academy of Country Music's top male vocalist 4 years in a row and was named Entertainer of the Year in 1970. His career led him to perform in many venues around the United States, including the White House for President Reagan, who called his music, quote, the heart and soul of America." He passed away on his 79th birthday, April 6, 2016. His legacy of country music is still loved by many to this day. Kevin Harvick's plaque reads more like the back of a baseball card versus the bios that Buck Owens and Merle Haggard got. It would have been much better if we could have gotten a bit more of Harvick's life and career trajectory, though we do get a nice list of stats and accomplishments. I know there was some locals that were baffled this specific location was chosen for the Oildale Wall of Fame. But does Oildale not deserve nice things, or is that only reserved for gentrified parts of the city? I personally think Oildale deserves it, and I'm sure you do too. Many of those same local contrarians expected the Oildale Wall of Fame to be quickly defaced or destroyed by its own residents, but it looks fine to me. Meanwhile, the Oildale sign has had a lot of action since its unveiling, but not the Oildale Wall of Fame. It's nice, manicured, and clean in an area that homeless and downtrodden pass through all day, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. Seems people in Oildale might have more respect for Bakersfield's famous legacies than the naysayers first assumed. On a related note, I'm not a Korn fan by any means, but I feel at the very least Jonathan Davis should be on this wall. I know he spent some real time in Oildale and worked as a coroner's assistant. I've always felt that a faux street sign for a band that sold over 40 million records that reads Corn Row, hidden behind the Dignity Arena, is kind of tone deaf. The fact that the Corn Row street sign keeps getting stolen, then replaced, then stolen again, should give obvious pause that the means of commemoration might not be the most practical way to honor corn. but a place on the Oildale Wall of Fame just makes a lot more sense on many levels, and it's not hidden away from most of the public. I mean, whether I'm a fan or not, did Korn not change music? And I believe that Korn would be something those young people Congressman Vince Fong alluded to at the ribbon-cutting ceremony would relate to this a bit easier than Buck Owens or Merle Haggard. I say that respectfully, of course. While we're at it, why not throw up the late writer Gerald W. Haslam, who won literary awards almost every year from 1969 to 2016. You should look that guy up, he was a pretty rad dude. I'm sure you have your own suggestions on who should be on the Oildale Wall of Fame. So why not send an email to Congressman Vince Fong and or Kern County District 3 Supervisor Jeff Flores, and maybe working as a real community together, we could make it happen. I mean, why not? And that's going to be it for our pint-sized adventure. See you next time. Oildale Centennial Square. Founded in 1909 and celebrating 100 years of progress, Oildale possesses a rich community, industrial and musical heritage, and a proud sense of identity. This site is dedicated to the past, present, and future citizens of Oildale. Dedicated in October 2013.